Filipinos are reacting to the re-emergence of the COVID-19 community cases in New Zealand. Greg Bessa files this report.
The Filipino community in New Zealand was part of the strong and united 5 million team that worked together with the government in successfully stamping out the first wave of COVID-19 cases that hit the country during the first 2 quarters of this year. As New Zealand is now experiencing a second wave of the coronavirus infection by community transmission, members of the Filipino community are again willing and ready to be part of such team as the government is reinforcing once more its go hard, go early strategy aimed at defeating the resurgence of COVID-19 for the second time around. Due to new COVID-19 community cases in South Auckland, the Prime Minister, upon consultation with her cabinet and health officials, decided to put the Auckland region in lockdown at alert level 3, while the rest of the country was under alert level 2 for 3 days from the midday of 12 of August. As the number of cases grew while the government was determining the source of the community infection, the status of alert levels was extended to another 12 days until the midnight of 26 of August. In the Auckland region in particular, wherein travels are strictly prohibited unless classified as essentials, members of the Filipino community are doing their best to comply with the government guidelines and restrictions in terms of their movement and in adhering to health and safety requirements. They are also taking advantage of the lockdown to do productive activities within their respective bubbles. Yet, just like the rest of the population in New Zealand, a number of Filipinos from various backgrounds have expressed their views, sentiments, and apprehensions on the re-emergence of the coronavirus in the country.
I appreciate the Prime Minister's quick decision to move and impose alert level 3 in Auckland greater area to combat the resurgence of the COVID-19.
The government made the right decision to impose restriction again, but they should have a solid plan. As a health worker, my message to my fellow nurses in New Zealand and all over the world, we should keep ourselves safe by observing all the necessary precautions in preventing the spread of the disease.
Yeah, initial reaction regarding us going back to lockdown 3, especially here in Auckland with a community transfer. Like everybody, I guess we were a bit scared and unsure of what was going on. But then again, realizing how we tackled the first lockdown, we just had to say and trust the government at this stage. They've done a good job.
It was really a surprise to learn that there is a community transmission of COVID-19. Well, that is after 100 days of no active cases. To be honest, it created a bit of panic in my family until it sinks in and it becomes our new normal again. Well, in Auckland, we are alert level 3 at the moment. The impact of this is to my students. As a teacher, it's a huge and massive impact to the learning of our students.
Surprising to find ourselves back to lockdown last Wednesday, and it was unbelievable because we get used to living our lifestyle in alert level 1, but I'm pretty sure that it was all for our own good and for our own safety. So let's just comply to the lockdown rules. Let's all stay home, wear masks if we're going out, and let's all hope and pray that this crisis will soon come to an end.
COVID-19 pandemic has once again reappeared, causing Auckland to go back to level 3 and all the other places here in New Zealand back to level 2. As a Cambridge student, it is very worrying for us, as far as I know, that our end-of-year exams may or may not be happening.
Ang masasabi ko lang po na bumalik po ang second wave na COVID-19 dito sa New Zealand ay iba yung pag-iingat, lalong-lalo na po kami mga FW rito ay nangangamba rin po pagkat ang sakit na to ay talagang lumalaganap na sa buong mundo at marami na rin po ang napipinsala na mga trabaho, lalo na po yung mga kababayan natin dito sa New Zealand na walan ng trabaho po.
Ang reaksyon ko po sa muling pagbabalik ng COVID-19 dito sa bansang New Zealand ay ayun po, nakakalungkot at muli po ay bumalik kami sa dati na kailangan ng social distancing, lalo na po sa pamimili, kailangan mo rin mag-ingat at minsan ay hindi ka malayang nakakapunta sa mga kaibigan mo, sa mga mahal sa buhay mo.
On the other hand, Philippine Ambassador to New Zealand, His Excellency Mr. Jesus Domingo, is calling the cooperation of the Filipino community in abiding with the government's COVID-19 guidelines, as he is reassuring them of the Philippine Embassy's continuing services amid the reactivation of alert levels across the country.
Regarding the recent announcement of Alert Level 3 in Auckland and Alert Level 2 sa iba-ibang parte ng New Zealand, we just advise our kababayan na sumunod tayo sa mga patakaran and protocols regarding the alert levels, and just generally stay home, stay safe, and this is not a cause to panic. Otherwise, New Zealand is still one of the best has one of the best managed responses sa COVID-19. Just also to remind na the embassy, of course, remains open. There's no effect in our schedules. Tuloy-tuloy po ang serbisyo namin. And also, if you need to go home through the repatriation flight, please register with the embassy kung hindi pa kayo naka-register sa amin, and follow our Facebook page and our website for updates on other activities and developments regarding repatriation, COVID-19, and embassy services.
As the government is waging another battle against COVID-19, Director General of the Minister of Health of New Zealand, Dr. Ashley Bloomfield, is rallying once more the support of the 5 million team by saying, and I quote, "We have done this before. We can do it again." From Lower Hutt, Wellington Region, New Zealand, this is Greg Bessa. We live in interesting times.